this money that she's saying she gave to other people for other things, she didn't. Because everything that we gave, I was helping her at the time, and I'm the one who helped bring her down. She might not know it, but she knows it now. Because when I found out what she was doing, I don't believe in that. And I don't think, every time she's done it, she's done this more than one time. She's done it in Texas, she's done it in Lake Charles, and she's done it in here. She denies it every time.
We are about to watch the Louisiana parole hearing of a woman whom I think all of us, or most of us, have no patience for, and that is a scammer. Now, not just any scammer, but a scammer who took advantage of people who have just survived a hurricane, who had just lost their homes to Hurricane Ida. And here she is taking their money, claiming to build them a new home, and all under the name of faith. As a matter of fact, her non-for-profit organization was called the Pastor's Army. And she has a long history of doing these kind of scams. As a matter of fact, she was once on the top 10 most wanted list. Now, she was sentenced to 10 years in prison and up for parole after serving just 2. So with that, let's jump in.
Misty Foley, 418-135.
Okay, Ms. Foley, you're here today for a parole hearing. Your parole date was 2/28/25. Your good time date is 2/27/26, and your full term date is 8/27/32. You were given a total of 10-year sentence for theft, forgery, and theft. Does that sound correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ms. Foley. Tell me, why do you think we should let you out today? What did you do, and why should we let you out?
What have I done since I've been incarcerated?
Ma'am, first tell me, what did you do to get yourself incarcerated?
Oh,
And then tell me what you've done since you've been incarcerated.
okay. I was charged with theft of and monetary goods. I just, things got out of hand, and I didn't handle the things that I handle money the way I should have. In a timely manner. I was overwhelmed, and I take full responsibility for that.
So what was your charge? What were you doing? You were scamming people?
No, well, I wasn't scamming people. But I did take money from people, and I did not do the things that I had promised them in a timely manner. I used the money for other things.
Okay, what you use the money for?
I used the money to buy diesel, and I used the money I gave money to people that, needed things that weren't part of what I had promised.
Okay.
I gave money, to other families when I should have taken care of the families that I had promised to take care of first.
Were you doing any drugs or any alcohol?
No, sir, I've never done drugs.
Okay, and why do you think, what have you done since you've been in prison?
I've taken the time to work. I've been the chaplain's trustee. I was on the yard crew in Tallulah. I kept asking to get into any and all classes, but they told me I wasn't eligible until a certain date. I was 2 years of my sentence. I was pre-trial. I've came to work release. I'm a forklift driver at Barry's Plastics. I work 140 hours every 2 weeks. I lost my father a month before my sentencing. And I want to get home to help my mom financially and support and, her grief and give me time to start my grieving process.
Okay.
I'm going to continue with my job if I'm able to if I'm able to keep that job, being that it's in Monroe. If not, I have a job, 2 different job opportunities. I have a job at Turner Industries in the refineries in Lake Charles, or I can go back to working for McDonald's. I was a manager over there and my job's been offered back to me.
Okay, all right, now we're
But I'll
gonna,
live, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I'm gonna be living with my mother and grandmother.
okay. We have, Mr. Quint Lanier, a
Minor.
big nephew. Mr. Lanier, what do you have to tell us? You're on mute, Mr. Lanier.
All right, what I want to say is, when she was down here, she would do alcohol. She said she wasn't on drugs and alcohol, but she did alcohol. She took money over $200,000 from a population of 3,300 people, and she took money from several people to rebuild homes that they had to put up so much money. My uncle had to put up $17,000.
That's not true.
Do not interrupt while he's speaking. Keep going, sir.
So my uncle put money up. Another guy that I'm speaking for is Tracy Lacoste. He put money up. The other people put money up. Okay. This money that she's saying she gave to other people for other things, she didn't. Because everything that we gave, I was helping her at the time, and I'm the one helped bring her down. She might not know it, but she knows it now. Because when I found out what she was doing, I don't believe in that. And I don't think, every time she's done it, she's done this more than one time. She's done it in Texas, she's done it in Lake Charles, and she's done it in here. She denies it every time. Here we are back in hurricane season 3 days ago, January 1st, and it's time for her to be looking at parole. And what's going to happen if we get a hurricane and she goes to another distribution center and scams all these people again?
Sir,
So
what was she doing? You said you asked her, I mean, you knew what she was doing. What was she doing?
at first she was just doing food distribution and stuff to help the people in the community. That I cannot deny. She's done a great job.
Mhm.
And then she got greedy and started to try to help people rebuild their houses. Okay. So she went to the people, and I think she had help, and she didn't want to throw nobody else under the bus, but she went to the ones that couldn't read and write really. And she talked them into giving her money, and they would get a new house out of it because they had to pay 1/3. Samaritan's Purse would pay 1/3, and another group would pay 1/3. And then she kept telling them, well, your house is in Homer. Like my uncle, she'd say, your house is in Homer. We just got to wait for the permit. We got to wait for this. The house was never, ever. Because I went to Minnesota to talk to these people, and they don't even know Misty Foley.
I see. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. We appreciate your statement.
Thank you. sir.
Okay, Ms. Foley, I read your case thoroughly, and that is what happened. It was a natural disaster. You were getting money from people promising that what was it y'all call it? The pastor's army would help and get the money. You were on supervision. You were released in 7/5/22. You were returned in 2/26/24 because of a new felony conviction. How long totally have you served on the 10 years?
He's on mute.
You're on mute. Unmute, please.
Can you unmute yourself?
I think he did it
Okay, how many years did you serve?
3 years
Okay,
on
3
the
years.
12th.
Oh, okay. And I do want to state for the record that there were numerous other victims opposed, Melanie and Vivian Burnett, Kayla Bowie, Jeanette and Samuel Small. You know, so, I just wanted to know that, and then all law enforcement is opposed. I have no further questions. Any of my
I have no questions.
No questions. Think it's time to vote, Mr. Freeman?
Okay, my vote is, to deny. This is a terrible offense happening when people couldn't take it the most. And, you have a history since 1998. All you've ever done is issue worthless checks or scam people. So my vote is to deny.
I concur with Mr. Freeman.
And I concur also, as of 10:58 this morning, on June the 3rd of 2025, that your parole request has been denied.
Thank you. But why can't I?
Quick denial, and I love her nephew for standing up there and saying, and I don't know if she knows this, but I put her in prison, and good job on you. There need to be more guys that are putting away these scammers, right? Even if you're flesh and blood, because I just can't. They disgust me. They really do. Preying on people who've lost their homes to natural disaster. And it's like, and so I'll read through this article, but like they mentioned, like they touched on, she has a long history. Lady Holly found a Facebook post of her committing crimes back in 2016, and I'll read some of the comments on that by people who are directly affected by her scams just after we touch on this. So now think about this. This article was only written June 15th, 2022. Now I know time flies. This hearing happened June 2025. So I guess she was locked up 3 years if she didn't get out of jail, couldn't make bond. But she has made expensive bond before. But a Lake Charles woman was arrested and left on theft charges after authorities said she scammed several Hurricane Ida victims in Terrebonne Parish. Misty K. Foley, 46, is charged with felony theft over $5,000. The charges resulted from a sheriff's office investigation after detectives received a complaint of Foley had scammed multiple Ida victims in the Deloge area. During the aftermath of Category 4 hurricane, which made landfall August 29th, Foley had been involved with a not-for-profit organization called the Pastor's Army. The group established a distribution site of the older large elementary to help community with recovery efforts. And here's the point that the nephew had made. If she's the only one that went to prison for this, yet it's a group, it makes me wonder. As the site coordinator, Foley was responsible for the day-to-day operations of the hurricane recovery efforts. The sheriff's office said members of the organization began receiving calls from area residents about its services, which led to an audit of its records and distribution sites. So is it possible that the organization is a good one and she embedded herself in it and scammed directly and the organization had nothing to do with it? Or like the nephew suggested, she's the only one that took the fall? I don't know. The audit revealed several financial discrepancies within the records. Throughout the investigation, Terrebonne detectives discovered information of several additional residents that paid Foley large sums of money for services to rebuild their homes, which were never completed. She was held on $500,000 bail. Now, I'm going to read to you some of the comments on Facebook. I'm not going to screen share it because I just don't know YouTube's policies with shit. So I'll just read it to you. So there was a post in 2016 on Facebook. Crime Stoppers of Union Parish. Miss Foley, she was 40 at the time, formerly from Marion, is currently wanted in Union Parish Sheriff's Office and Crime Stoppers for charges of unauthorized use of access to card, identity theft, and felony theft. Now listen to this. There's a comment under it that said, she did this to my grandparents in early 2016. As my grandmother was sick with cancer and ended up passing away, my grandfather tried to press charges where we live, but they never found her. And another comment: how'd she get out of bail? How'd she get out when her bond was so high? There's really no justice. Someone else said this is her third fraud case. She was recently arrested in Texas, and this is 29th. So she really has been going involved in this just forever. And the Texas case, Lady Holly pointed information on it. it's, let me see. So Texas, I mean, I can't stand scammers. And the idea that she's getting out in good time of the year is disturbing. It really is, because it's just, why? Why would you get only 4 years for it? During his investigation, a DPS ranger Parker found Misty, whose name was actually Mr. Dada, who was arrested on warrants out of Union Parish, Louisiana, for felony unauthorized use of access to card identity theft. You know, this is out of Texas, like they said. All right. There's more information that Lady Holly pulled, as you can see here on her very extensive spreadsheets. But we'll just jump to the fact of the day before we go to another parole hearing. And the fact of the day is that the tallest president ever was Abraham Lincoln, standing at 193 centimeters, which is 6'4", I believe. And that's pretty interesting, right? And back in the time when the average height of a man was probably like 5'3", let's ask Rock, what was the average height of a man? 5'7" to 5'8". Yeah, he's a big man. And who's the second tallest president? So what was funny is when I asked Grok who the second tallest president was, they said that it was Thomas Jefferson, and Thomas Jefferson is 6'2.5" inches. And I said, well, Trump is 6'3". And Grok said, oh, you're right. We made a mistake. The second tallest president is Donald Trump. And let's see, the other fact of the day is country's 16th president was also the Wrestling Hall of Fame. He was a talented wrestler before he took the top job and won 299 out of his 300 matches. Oh my God. What kind of winning percentage is that? That's nuts. A wrestling president. And there you have it. A scammer who will be getting out in a year, who shows no remorse, who actually seems to still deny the crime and blah, blah, blah. But at least the nephew stood up. We need more nephews like that.
This money that she's saying she gave to other people for other things, she didn't. Because everything that we gave, I was helping her at the time, and I'm the one who helped bring her down. She might not know it, but she knows it now. Because when I found out what she was doing, I don't believe in that. And I don't think, every time she's done it, she's done this more than one time. She's done it in Texas, she's done it in Lake Charles, and she's done it in here. She denies it every time.